Good morning. What a privilege it is for me to be here. I want to start with great thanks to our gracious hosts here at the JFTC. I'm Paul from the US FTC. I'm joined by my colleagues Toshiko from the JFTC, and not Joel, but Max from the UK CMA. And together, we represent your friendly merger working group co-chairs. We are the current custodians of this very distinguished group that dates back to ICN's founding. In fact, I hope you know we are one of ICN's 2 original product lines, the Merger Working Group. So it's fair to say that there is no ICN group that has more history, has more work products, has more workshops, indeed has more success than the ICN Merger Working Group. And you all are a part of that. So we thank you for joining this proud tradition. Let me get straight to the bad news. This is our last topic presentation of the workshop. I'm sorry. But it comes with good news. This is the last topic presentation of the workshop. So let's get right into it. We as co-chairs have been reminded this week that we live in a globalized digital economy. And we've taken that theme to heart by adjusting our panel in 3 ways. First, we recognize that all of our attention spans are shot, so we've limited ourselves to 15 minutes. Secondly, we know that we love our screen time. So as you can see off to the side here, we've provided a built-in distraction for you. Please enjoy. For those of you who know the working group well, you'll recognize many of the great actual titles, the actual topics that the Merger Working Group has produced over the years, and many of you have shared in these, so feel free to reminisce. Hopefully we'll all see something new and remind ourselves that if you'd like to check out this great work, it's all available on the ICN website. So please, when you're back home, seek out this great work product that we've had. Our third adaptation to today's realities, we know that we love to provide feedback. We love to like things, right? So in recognition of that, you'll find at your desk or at your seats a survey that was provided. This is a quick survey. You have our permission to do it right now. Please multitask. The idea is that we want to sort of get a sense of the reach of ICN's work product. So even if this is your first interaction with the Merger Working Group, please fill it out. Even if it's your 100th interaction with the working group, please fill it out. In particular, one of the last questions there invites ideas for future work. So we value everyone's input. And in fact, just before coming up here, as a bonus, I was informed that we have been selected as the special giveaway plenary of the week. So for the first 100 people who find me today at the break or at lunch or later on and give me that survey back, you will receive a parting gift from compliments of the Merger Working Group. So a little bit of incentive. Please feel free to go ahead. It looks like this, my exhibit. All right, quickly, I also want to draw your attention to the perhaps more important and broader evaluation of the entire workshop. Many of you have already seen this. If you haven't already, the JFTC has provided this great QR link right here. Do it after today's festivities. Do it when you're back home. But please, please, please do not forget about this evaluation of the entire workshop. And your feedback is very important to help us plan future events. So don't forget about that. All right, so we want to do 3 things for you right now, today. First, I'm going to turn to Toshiko to tell us about an aspect, hopefully you, particularly as agency members here today, know about within the working group that facilitates enforcement cooperation, really makes this sort of a vibrant network of merger enforcers. So I'll turn to Toshiko for that. I'm going to turn to Max from the UK to give us an update on the latest, greatest ongoing work. If you haven't had enough of the Merger Working Group, when you go back home, there are opportunities where you can stay engaged right now. And Max is going to tell you about some of our great work that's ongoing right now. Finally, I'll come back and give you a quick highlight, a pitch of the body of work that the Merger Working Group has developed over the years, and hopefully you'll remember that when we go home. So, all right, let me turn first to Toshiko, and hopefully you can raise our awareness about the merger framework.
Thank you, Bill. As one of the Merger Working Group co-chair and the host of the merger workshop, I appreciate your participation and listening to this work product session. So my name is Toshiko Igarashi. The JFTC is organizing the ICN framework for merger review cooperation. So I hope you will see on the slides sometime. And so it is the non-binding framework established in 2012 for facilitating effective and efficient cooperation in merger reviews among ICN member authorities. Once a member agency makes a registration with the framework, it will regularly receive the latest contact list, and you will be able to use it to request information on merger cases through the liaison offices of the authorities in the contact list. It is open to all the ICN member authorities, and so far about 60 authorities have participated in the framework. So it's a great participation. As a part of the Enforcement Cooperation Tools project of Merger Working Group this year, we conducted a survey last September for gathering experience of using the framework and exploring further improvements of it. So it's a survey on the implementation of the work of the ICN Merger Working Group. Many authorities, actually more than 50% of the authorities surveyed, replied to the questionnaire, and we would like to express our sincere gratitude to your cooperation to the survey. Based on the result of the survey, we are considering improvements of this framework. For example, creating the flyer for raising members' awareness of the framework, or creating a category list of information that can be used through that framework, creating an information request form for more user-friendliness in making initial contact. These are lots of ideas. We may also update the content of the framework based on the feedback of the members of the survey, as well as developments of the Merger Working Group's works, such as a practical manual for international cooperation made in 2015. So we hope that more ICN member authorities would join this framework. So if you haven't participated in the framework, please feel free to contact the JFTC or Merger Working Group co-chairs. We also welcome the suggestions for the improvement of the framework and for the enforcement cooperation project. So without the participation and implementation of the members, the framework is just a piece of paper. This is a paper on the ICN website. So it is you that promote the international cooperation and makes the framework very fruitful. Thanks. And maybe turn to Max.
Thank you, Toshiko. Yes, let's turn to Max and hear about some of the great ongoing work within the group right now.
Great. So there's three pieces of work I want to briefly highlight today that are ongoing. The first of those is further work on the vertical mergers project. We're very happy with the receipt of the survey that we conducted last year that we got lots of responses to, and very pleased to see so many people have referred to it over the past couple of days. So we identified several cases with the help from many of you of suggesting cases that we could conduct further investigation into and conduct a more in-depth comparison rather than relying on the sort of a tick box survey approach. So those three cases are Live Nation Ticketmaster, Essilor Luxottica, and Abbott Laboratories Alaire. And we're in the process of identifying further places where the rest of you can be of further assistance to us in assessing those. I think one of the ways in which we're looking for help is, in particular, we can only conduct a comparison where there does exist an English decision in publication, or where someone else can produce a summary of the vertical merger issues of a particular case in English from a non-English decision. So if any of you want to get in touch to help out with that, we'd be really grateful. The second ongoing work stream is regional calls that we've been in the process of arranging. So these are to discuss retail mergers, the idea being that often on large calls which involve the entire group, it's very hard to hear from all the different voices of the different agencies in the ICN. So we've arranged calls for Europe, North and Central America, South America, South Africa, North Africa and Middle East, and Asia Pacific, so that within each of those, people can discuss the recent trends and developments in assessing retail mergers, and hopefully we can get some really interesting discussions hearing from all the different voices that are in the ICN. The final ongoing work stream, in addition to the vertical mergers project and the regional court to discuss retail mergers, is an ongoing update to the investigative techniques handbook.
Thank you, Max. And just to emphasize, these ideas don't just exist in Max's head. We have a written work plan, just as every working group does. Please seek us out on the website if you haven't taken detailed notes today. It's all available there. A great, exciting mix, I think, of thoughtful policy development topics, as well as ongoing dialogue, as Max said, of trends and developments in these case study calls that are coming up. So it's an exciting time to remain engaged in the merger working group. If you've perhaps gotten a taste for convergence and dialogue here today in Tokyo, satisfy that taste back home and tell your friends about it. Tell your merger enthusiastic friends and colleagues to join us in our ongoing work, our virtual work when we're not together 1 week a year in such working groups. All right, the final piece we wanted to do is my own, and sadly I must confess that this scroll has done most of the work for me. Yes, I have been replaced by technology. I couldn't quite cram into 15 minutes all the great work that the ICN Merger Working Group has done, so hopefully you've got a sense of that. Just about everything you can imagine in the day-to-day practice of merger enforcement has been addressed at some point in the Merger Working Group's history. We like to call it existing work. It's not past work. It still has relevance today. Don't forget about it, please. If you have an issue, a challenge, a policy thought back home, we hope you think of the Merger Working Group as a resource. What has ICN said about this? We've collected all this consensus information, best practices from around the world. Don't forget about that. It should be one of the starting points for any kind of thought process, a policy issue, a challenge you have back home, whether you're an agency or an NGA looking for a worldwide statement about the status and all the great things that are going on in merger enforcement around the world. So my work has been done for me, but in short, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of the really comprehensive coverage of just about everything that we have. And if you haven't seen an idea up there on that scroll, if there's something that you think is missing, if there's a gap in the Merger Working Group's great portfolio of work, please let us know. You have your surveys, that last question, fill it out, and make sure we're aware of it, because we're happy to make sure that we're covering everything of relevance to our members and NGAs. Look, I just wanted to close by saying we hopefully have raised your awareness about the merger framework, if you're an agency, about our ongoing great work. Whether you're an agency or an NGA, please join us when you return back home. And indeed, the existing body of Merger Working Group that exists today as a resource, please do it. Can I do a couple of quick please? Please fill out your survey, if you can, about work products. Please think about later on, once we've completed the workshop, about your survey, or rather evaluation of what you've seen and experienced this week. We look forward to that. You know, it's great to see so many familiar faces who have helped build the Merger Working Group into what it is today. It's equally exciting to see so many new faces this week who are being exposed to the Merger Working Group through this great event in Tokyo. What a great combination, if I can put it that way. We hope you all will remain engaged and continue to watch us. I think I've been more efficient in my slideshow. That's why I'm sort of expanding my final comments here. But technology doesn't have that on me just yet. And anyway, let me just conclude by saying thank you so much for your participation this week. Again, your support for what we call ICN's most efficient and expansive line of work is much appreciated. You are every bit a part of it, as we are up here as co-chairs, and we look forward to your continued engagement. Again, don't forget to find me at the break, at lunch, any other time for your parting gift if you'd like it. Otherwise, safe travels to everyone, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much indeed, representatives from co-chairs and all participants. Please fill in the survey form and leave it on your desk, on your table or chairs. Thank you.